What up is Marcus Dynasty Football Dads. We have a DeAndre Swift signed jersey. All you have to do is be a subscriber for a chance to win when we hit 2K. We'll be giving it away to one of you guys. I've already seen in the Dynasty realm some big, huge kind of red flags, and I wanted to present what my argument is against already trading for that 2023 class. And so everyone is now talking about the 2023 class. It's amazing. It could be the best class in the last 5 years. It's similar to the 2020 class. And you hear all these different things, but let's step back all the way to 2018, going into that 2019 draft class. And people started selling their 2019 picks away for those 2020 picks. And 2020's class was amazing. We talked about Jonathan Taylor, CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson, DeAndre Swift, J.K. Dobbins, CEH, Cam Akers. It was a great class. Even had Tua and Herbert, and the class itself was a very, 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 very good class. It even had Burrow and everything. You look at the class and it was excellent. But we almost sold 2019 as a discount. In 2019, those picks were not nearly worth as much as one would think in a typical year because everyone was already projecting to the 2020 season. So some players lost out on, we had Josh Jacobs, Miles Sanders, David Montgomery, which may sound a little bit throwy up in the mouth type of talk, but David Montgomery has had times where he's been a very valuable running back, and Josh Jacobs has been a low-end RB1 ever since his rookie year. And then we look at wide receivers, A.J. Brown, Marquise Brown, Deontay Johnson, Deebo Samuel. Lots of different wide receivers that have been really good in fantasy, and arguably, maybe some of them have been better than the 2020 class, and how great the 2020 class has been. It's been pretty equal to it, and so we sold away the 2019 class because we wanted that 2020 class. I'm seeing the same thing happen in this 2022 class. People are selling this class, and they're throwing it to the wayside, and what we're missing out on is Garrett Wilson and Treylon Burks, and then we could have Kenneth Walker, and we could have Breece Hall. These all could be very good players that could equal up to some of the players in the 2023 class. And so I am just warning people not to immediately sell, hey, I got 103, I just want a 2023 first, or I've seen trades where it's like 103 for a 2023 first, it's probably going to be late, and like a 2023 second. Like, to me, the 2023 class, you have to understand, they will not be on the field for another 18 months. And so if you're a team that is trying to rebuild, that is still a long ways away. You're talking about that asset has to improve over the next 18 months you're talking about you're going to have an entire season in between that class. So it's just going to be, I understand it. I understand you want that player that is going to be that generational talent. You want the Jamar Chase. You want the Justin Jefferson. You want the Jonathan Taylor. Najee, you could say, is up there as well. You want those players that are going to potentially change cornerstone rankings. We're talking about, we can even get into the cornerstone rankings at some point, which will be one of the next future videos. I'll probably go through 41 through 50 on my rankings. I think I got to do 31 through 40 first. We'll finish off the top 50 for rankings. We'll go through some cornerstone rankings as well. We'll go through some more trading as we get closer, and we'll dive into more of the draft prospects as we go along through this process. We still have, 2.5 months. So we have a lot of time, and of course, I'm still every single day watching film, gaining analytics, doing a combination approach, and watching, of course, again, one of the most important things is just watching tape as well, just to see how they perform and everything. It's just gathering information. And so this 2022 class is no joke. Like, it's not a horrible class. I think if you are looking for a quarterback, that is where you're potentially you're looking at trading that pick, because 2022 doesn't have a great starting quarterback. My quarterback one is Mills. Why did I say Malik Willis? I don't know why I think I combined his first and last name together into Mills. I don't know, whatever. Malik Willis. And so Malik, and you saw even in the Senior Bowl, they came out with mixed thoughts, and there was even some scouts that were saying there's no starting quarterback in this draft class. Then I can understand your 2023, why you want to trade into that class. So, is the 2023 class going to be amazing? Probably, but lots of things can change. Injuries can happen. Look at George Pickens. at this time last year, maybe wide receiver 1 in the class, and now he is potentially wide receiver 5-ish. And you can see that even with players that have had serious neck injuries. Justin Ross has had some injuries. There's just been players that in the past have come out of the gates and you look, man, this player is going to be amazing. And then they end up not being the number even 1 player drafted in their class. Jerry Jeudy was supposed to be the number 1 wide receiver drafted in his class. He was supposed to be the number 1 wide receiver for like 3 years, it felt like. And he ended up not even being the number 1 wide receiver. Of course, Justin Jefferson, in my opinion, was slightly ahead of him through there. But then CeeDee Lamb overtook that easily into that spot. He took wide receiver 1 and just held onto it and was basically easy ADP of wide receiver 1. Lots of things can change in 12 months. And that is why I think you need to just put caution. Don't start just trading everything away in 2022 to get to 2023. This is the time that 2022 might be at a discount if you start seeing league members starting to just want to get immediately into that 2023 class. So I still believe that there's going to be, this class might not be super deep, but I feel like you're going to still have a 2019 class where you're going to have probably 2 good running backs. 2 of the 3, either Spiller, Hall, or Walker. They're 2 of those 3 are probably going to be. It's probably going to be very similar. It's going to be one's going to be Josh Jacobs-like, one's going to be probably an RB2, maybe a high end RB2, and the other one's going to be probably RB3. It's going to be like a Devin Singletary and Miles Sanders-ish, just great at times, frustrating at times. We don't know which running back it's going to be. That's just my prediction on what things are going to happen. And I think Treylon Burks could be a superstar. We could be talking about A.J. Brown, wide receiver 1 overall type. I mean, that's what A.J. Brown was getting hyped as at sometimes previous to this 2021 season. So that, I mean, you could talk about a guy who could be a top 5 wide receiver, or he could be somebody that does bust out a little bit more. I mean, he has that chance. And you have Garrett Wilson, who has the ability and traits of like a Terry McLaurin, but hopefully could be on a good team. Like a Terry McLaurin on a really good team, that's a low-end wide receiver 1. So you have these players and prospects that do show it, and you're going to always have that 1 or 2 prospects that are going to be later in. Is it going to be the George Pickens? Is it going to be Rachaad White? Is it going to be who? Is it going to be James Cook? What running backs, what wide receivers are going to be end up pushing up this board? And maybe one of these quarterbacks ends up panning out. Maybe it is the Malik Willis becomes this just a running quarterback like a Jalen Hurts, and is super raw, doesn't look like a great quarterback, but ends up being a good fantasy quarterback for a couple of years or few years. And so this class still could be good. And so that's what I want to warn people, because I'm already seeing these trades and I'm like, ugh. Like, you just traded 103. I just saw a trade. It was just yesterday. And it wasn't in my league. It was I got the screenshot of it, and the guy said, "Hey, this already happened. It was 101. It was 205 for a it was 101 and 110 and 205 for 111 and a 2023 first. That is going to be late. So you're already projecting that you're basically moving back 10 spots. You're having to trade a second with it. So that's, I mean, 111 and 205 are very similar in my mind. Like, the class is not 10 players deep probably, so you're probably seeing that those are going to be very similar value. So you're trading 101 for a 2023 late first. And maybe you're trading, getting a little bit of extra on that 101 side. Just a little bit compared to that 2023 late first. And I was just like in flames, like, what is this player doing? And everyone, he said, hey, I sent this out to a couple people, and they said that was a great trade. And I'm like, whoa, we need to have a video. We need to have a talk. We cannot have people trading 101, which is Breece Hall or Treylon Burks, again, away for a 2023 late first, which might be something, but again, is 18 months down the road, and you're overpaying for the 2023 first already. That being said, again, if you need a quarterback, you're going to have to try to get into that 2023 first, and if you're in a huge rebuild, like your team is absolutely a pile of crap, it might be worth trying to get into that 2023 class. It's better now, because when you get closer, that 2023 class is going to be impossible to get into. I remember trades trying to get into that 2020 class. I remember there was massive trades just to try to get up to 104, 105, because people were CeeDee Lamb, Cam Akers, Jerry Jeudy was in there. DeAndre Swift even dropped down in some leagues. Like, people are paying massive amounts of now players in equity to try to get to that point. And that we didn't even talk about Superflex. That was just standard leagues too. But Superflex, it was so rich to try to get up into those higher picks. And so 23 class, in that case, you might want to start trying to get into that class. If you are in a complete rebuild and you are seeing yourself like, yeah, I'm not going to compete in 2022. I'm probably going to compete in 2023. That's going to be my year, which means you probably tore it down starting now or starting just the last couple months. You probably start tearing it down to the studs. And when I mean to the studs, I mean to basically the wide receiver studs, because you're going to be selling everything else off, or the quarterback studs in Superflex. You're probably selling everything else. And so then in that regard, that's okay to trade it. All right. So this is Marcus Dynasty with that. Peace out. We'll see you soon.